Hi guys, so I wanted to do you guys a soulmate reading, and because I kept getting the question, do they still love me? So somebody out there wants to know if somebody still loves them. So that's what we're going to do today. So this is for anybody who watches at any time. It is a timeless reading. So whenever you click on this video, you was meant to see it if it resonates with you. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay, guys? So I'll leave the information about what decks of cards I use in the description box, along with how to contact me for personal readings. So let's see. Wisdom. Okay, so this is the Hierophant, where you've been gaining a lot from this soulmate connection. Learning more about yourself, learning more about others, learning about your place in the world, finding your place in the world, getting wisdom from world and other people, and sharing your wisdom too. Because we know once we have gained that wisdom, we can pass it on, and it can be our spiritual path to pass it on. So it seems like this soulmate connection got you on your spiritual path here. The sun is very prominent in that card. So I do feel like it involved a lot of healing your soul. Fulfillment of wishes. Okay, so I do feel like there's a lot of love in this connection. You know, at least at one point it was together. Hold on. It's one of the hottest days of the years, and I've got my window open. So I just need to quickly close the window. Traffic will be coming. I thought as it's early morning I might get away with it, but no. So yeah, I feel like with this, you know, two of you here, waterfalls here, I feel like both of you at one point definitely, you know, this overwhelming and overflowing love for each other was certainly a thing. So if you ever question, did they love me? Yes, I see you both joining here with emotions and a lot of growth. I mean, look at this. Definitely feeling like you found the one. And I do believe here, look at this person. They've got a scroll in their hands. So I do believe, you know, from this wisdom here, you know, you're taking that with you, and you've learned about yourself, multiple different things about yourself, standing on your own. So as well as, you know, this love, I feel like you've been learning here to love yourself, finding yourself even here, because it may feel like, you know, you found the one with this soulmate connection and ended up finding yourself. Just heard, I think it's Da Vinci, where it says, I didn't even know I was lost. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't even know I was lost. So let's see here. Trapped in fear and prosperity begins. Okay, so this is the Eight of Swords energy and Ace of Wands. So you may feel like, look, I feel like you may even fear that this soulmate may never even speak to you again, and you're holding on to them so tight because you think, if I let go, the connection's gone forever. And, you know, you do have this memory of what you once had. They may not be paying you enough attention here, and it's making you feel vulnerable because you've gone through this change, right, and gained this wisdom, and you want to be able to respect yourself, so you don't want to reach out first, maybe, but you're scared, look, if I don't make the effort, if I don't be the bigger person, will they ever reach out to me? Will I ever speak to them again? And this is trapping you in that fear there. So it's like, look, I learned all how to love myself, and I know if I'm the one chasing, I'm not loving myself, right? So do you think the other person is loving themselves if they're chasing you? You know, we've got to have this understanding that, you know, communication is so important in relationships. And I don't think it's lowering your self-worth if you reach out and contact somebody, if you, you know, want to reach out and talk to them, I don't feel like it's, you know, making yourself lower, because then how would you expect them to reach out to you? So it seems like you both here, you know, like I said, are running parallel to each other in this fear that we have going on, that, you know, if I reach out, then they think I'm the weak one, or if I reach out. And just remember, that can be your ego taking place as well. When we go through the downfall of ego and learn to respect ourselves, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be the bigger person. It doesn't mean that we can't reach out to somebody first. Why would you go throughout your life trapped in fear, but never knowing, right? Wouldn't you rather know? So then this could begin. I feel maybe if this is a new relationship, you started out after a relationship that put you on a spiritual path. If this is, you know, a new relationship, or you're single here. If it's a new relationship, I feel like you're a little bit scared that maybe right now they're not doing what you believe to be love. So maybe they're not putting as much effort into you, and they're putting quite a bit of effort into themselves here. If you're single, maybe you feel like, well, look, I can't go out and, you know, strike up conversations with people, because then it looks like I'm desperate. We've taken on all these words and given them a negative ring, and, you know, it builds on our ego here. We don't really want to be doing that. So we have a shallow grave, and it says you're missing somebody. We can see it here as well. Even longing for somebody, right? You may feel like I miss somebody from my past after you've been through this spiritual growth. And it might just be that you're ready for somebody new in your life, but, you know, you're trapped in fear that, will I find somebody new? Will I find somebody like that again? You feel like it'll take a miracle. It's not going to take a miracle. You are lovable, right? So when we learn to love ourselves and we learn things along this spiritual path and gain wisdom, we can pick up bad habits from that as well, right? Like I said, we can build on our self-respect and our self-love, and then we end up back in ego that, no, I'm not reaching out first. I respect myself. And it may be that you need to be more loving in this situation, the one who actually comes forward first. You may not like to hear that. Being a Scorpio myself and very egotistical, you know, I'm joking. We can feel that as well, like, hey, I don't want to reach out first. And again, 2 of Cups and 8 of Wands. So it is about, you know, how am I going to communicate with a soulmate? I'm scared to approach somebody. I don't want to you know, cheat myself out of my self-respect after everything I learned on this path. So I feel like here, the lack of communication or maybe understanding with the 8 of Swords there, trapped in fear, is stopping you from reaching out to somebody you miss, or stopping you from putting yourself out there and dating even, or maybe in a new relationship. You might be trying hard to, you know, solidify this relationship in the very beginning. You know, like, okay, I'm dating somebody new with the Ace of Wands, and I need to know right now, do they respect me? Do they want me? Are they going to marry me? And all these things. And you're trying to compact that all into one there. And I feel like it may be rushing too soon. It may be sort of freaking somebody out if it is a new relationship, right? They might be like, whoa, we've only got 5 apples on this tree and you're talking about this. So I feel like a lot of the times people get nervous. And again, that's what I'm feeling here, this overthinking, this trapping yourself rather than enjoying it. Right? Enjoy the beginning of a relationship. That's the best part, right? So I feel like if you're at the beginning of a relationship, you're overthinking it and worried, you know, before it's even gotten off the ground here. So maybe then just step back here with that wish fulfillment and, you know, remember what you've been learning, maybe even go back to your learning, because I think once we've closed down a certain cycle of relationships, remember we're entering into a new cycle of relationship because we've spiritually overcome that. So then what happens then? Let's say you've overcome and learned and gained your wisdom from negative relationships, for want of a better term. Then we maybe enter into a relationship of abundance. And if you've been going through negative relationships or abusive relationships, maybe that's all you know right now, and that's why you need a new cycle. So a negative relationship or an abusive relationship, maybe the person's calling you all the time, communicating a lot with you. Where are you? What are you doing? What are you wearing? It's cute in the beginning. We need a little bit of jealousy, right? To know we're wanted and desired. We are human, but, you know, too much of it is actually abusive. I recently put my Facebook on and I keep seeing these couples playing pranks on each other. And I think, you know, I know they're doing it just for views, but, you know, it's borderline abusive what they're doing to each other. And, you know, it's not going to end well. So remember, okay, people have their own individual lives and their own individual paths. So maybe if they're not paying you enough attention, you can just communicate, hey, feeling a bit left out or a little bit vulnerable. You know, I just wanted to check in with you. How are you going? You know, things like that. Don't immediately start overthinking because everything in your past, you know, was a certain way, because you don't want it to be that certain way anymore. You've learned from those relationships and you want an abundant relationship now. Maybe this person is also, you know, on this path of wisdom and loving themselves. So maybe they're in their head about something that's going on within them, right? And they just haven't communicated it to you yet. So let's say you're not even together with this soulmate, and you haven't heard from them in a while. You miss them. You wonder, do they still love me? And things like that. After I've been through all this healing, why haven't they come forward? Or why, you know, I did a video, why didn't my ex return in the retrograde? That's also a timeless reading. Maybe they have things going on with themselves here as well, and they're entering into their dark night of the soul and going through their learning, they're gaining their wisdom that they came here to do, learning to love themselves. So they're just thinking about themselves at the moment. And that can be why they haven't communicated. It doesn't mean they're not thinking about you. Look at this 8 of Swords. They can be thinking about you quite a lot and missing you here. Because usually when somebody's heavily on our mind, it's because they're thinking about us, or we're at least projecting ourselves into their mind as well. So we will pop into their mind. It's not like they've completely forgotten you. You know, the journey of life, we have to do it like independent. We're born alone and we die alone, right? So it's not that you're not wanted or needed or desired. Right now, this person could have things going on with themselves. So let's see here. So the Emperor and the Ace of Pentacles when I break the deck there. So very stubborn in apologizing to each other. Yeah. Ace of Wands, you're both like, I feel at times you want to maybe continue onto a new soulmate. If you're in a relationship, you may feel like, look, I've gone as far as I can in this. What's left? If they're not paying me any attention, I'm not getting what I desire, right? Ace of Pentacles again here, first card out. And I feel like, again, with this, what I was saying, in a new relationship, you may be wanting something too soon. And if in any relationship you're expecting somebody else to be responsible for your happiness, it'll just become a burden that they'll drop, and you'll still find yourself back to square one. So always with the Ace of Pentacles here, build your own foundation first. You are responsible for your happiness, okay? And loving yourself. You may want other people to love you throughout this life. Understandable, and very possible, right? But it starts with you. And this is what I'm feeling in this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like maybe you've been, you know, scarred before here, but I just feel this, maybe with the 9 there as well, it just seems to be about you learning to stand. And if somebody isn't paying you enough attention, either respect yourself and them enough to communicate or reach out, whatever it may be for you, or you've just got to back away and take a step back into this self-love. Okay, if they're going through something right now, they don't have time for me, I'm going to take a step back and I'm just going to love myself, focus on myself and my healing, my growth, my wisdom, work even with the Ace of Pentacles. And, you know, I'm going to remember who I am. I'm going to start feeling good about myself again. Pretty sure that I'll draw them in. For them, it could be that they're worried about things with work and trying to put a lot of energy into working right now. Four of Wands. So, again, this indication of marriage, right? Ace of Pentacles, Four of Wands. It's like, you just want to know they're going to come forward with commitment, and you want them to communicate that. And maybe they did at one point and did put their foot forward and say, look, this is what I want, and you know, made a firm foundation with you, because that's what we're seeing here. Very firm foundation in this connection. Something that, you know, could support both of you and love both of you. Like I said, maybe this is somebody that this firm foundation broke down. A tower came in. But here I feel like looking forward to the future here, wanting to know, do they still love me? Is there a possibility of maybe commitment from this person? New or old, remember, because this can be like somebody getting into a new relationship. Because I was speaking, look, you know, are they going to marry me already? We're going to do everything so super speedy. You might feel like, you know, when you've gone through this healing, a lot of time's being wasted and you're running out of time to meet somebody. So you want things to hurry up and come. But in actual fact, I feel like you're doing fantastic on your own at the moment. Maybe a little better than your soulmate. Okay, so when you're the one doing a little better, spiritually, you might be in front of them, then I absolutely don't see a problem here with you being the bigger person and taking either a step back, having a break from the connection, or reaching out to them and telling them, hey, feeling a little bit abandoned. Very playful and lighthearted, because it seems like they've got a lot on their mind. Even just reaching out if you miss somebody and saying, I miss you. Who doesn't want to hear I miss you? So the Knight of Cups here, it's like, well, they offered their love to me and now they're focusing on themselves. I don't understand where their love's gone. It's making me think whether it was a figment of my imagination or not here. No, you are right here. This is a person who offered their love, who gave their love, who both of you here, you know, gave love and fed into this connection, built this foundation. And I do believe that it has an opportunity to go somewhere. There is love here, and I feel like you need to act out of love. That seems to be the message when I'm saying, you know, be the bigger person, be softer, be more loving towards this connection. Maybe you don't want to put too much in if you fear not getting anything back out of this connection. So you're like, I don't want to put that on myself again, where I give my all because I've been through this spiritual journey, and you know, it taught me, don't be giving my all if I aren't receiving anything back. That's wonderful. But, you know, there's different times and different situations where maybe your partner does need more loving and supporting energy, right? So you remember that, you know, you've been there for people and things like that. So sometimes we do need to be, you know, the bigger person, the supportive person, and give a little bit more. Because if that person feels like, you know, I haven't got enough to give right now from their self, remember we also learned that while going through these spiritual lessons, right? We also learned that at times we needed somebody. Maybe they wasn't even there for you, but you needed somebody and wanted somebody. And how much more would your journey, how much easier would it have been, right? If you'd have had somebody to support you at that time, maybe try and even understand your mood swings, or understand when you wanted to be isolated and alone and you locked yourself away with the Eight of Swords, your thoughts there. If people would have been more understanding, maybe it would have been going a lot easier, right? So you can understand this because you've been through it. It's like often, you know, like our children, when we've been through something before and we say, you know, no, that's not going to work or something, we can kind of feel like they're still going to do it, right? So they do it and then they say, oh, it didn't work. And with our children, we say, yeah, we understand it didn't work. We tried to tell you, but sometimes we have to do things ourselves, right? And we still support our children and say, you know, I'm here, it's okay, get back up and things like that. And we all need that in life, right? So even like with, and this can be your children and it can be friends and family and parents and all kinds of things that you're watching these readings for. So yeah, sometimes we do have to be the one who's giving more with that Knight of Cups energy, especially if we want this firm foundation and we want this to be leading somewhere. And I started out asking, does this person still love me? You know, that's the question for the reading here. And I feel very much so. They have a lot going on. It seems like what they built with you with the Ace of Pentacles and Four of Wands was something very strong. It almost seems like it's unbreakable, this unbreakable connection you built with each other. You merged as one with that 9 fulfillment of wishes. So maybe that's what they're thinking about right now, or that's what they're going through right now. You know, how did I get here? And that's, you know, a place where to start on the spiritual journey, right? How did I get here? I need to look back on my journey and see where I went wrong and see maybe what I can heal and things like that. So trust and be understanding. Six of Cups here. Definite. These are actually really beautiful cards that are coming out for this soulmate connection. You know, and this is somebody who is remembering things about you and you're in their mind. It just seems like in this Six of Cups, at least, it's a little bit dark. Usually the Six of Cups is, you know, full of flowers and children and smiles and love, and it beams that energy, right? So it's like, I do feel like this is a trip through the dark night of the soul, and the memory of you is there with this Six of Cups. The love, so, you know, they're thinking about you definitely heavily with the Eight of Swords, and they know you're part of this journey and part of their growth. You know, even one of their teachers and them one of your teachers, right? So this is that walking down memory lane sort of thing, examining my life here, looking back where I went wrong and how can I make myself better and stronger, and things maybe I want to change. Maybe people I'm missing here as well as here. And that's why, you know, we say the Six of Cups is this returning energy. Somebody returning from our past. Now we have the Six of Pentacles. And of course, the Six is related to the Lovers. But I feel like with this Six of Pentacles, you can see all the pentacles on one side. So maybe feeling like what I was explaining in the beginning. Look how she's got her self-confidence back and got this positive energy and self-respect, right? So why would I give all if I've got my self-respect? That's definitely sort of the energy I'm picking up here. Like, look, I'm missing them, but I was taught that, you know, if I respect myself, don't you be the one giving everything. Okay, so do you expect to be the one sat on the chair, you know, with your self-respect until the end of time, not knowing, because you couldn't be a bigger person and maybe reach out? There's a difference between chasing, right? I mean, if you miss the bus, you're not gonna chase after it, are you? You're just gonna end up at your destination. What the bus does, certainly near me, they go round in sort of like a loop. So they'll go to a certain destination, turn around, come back, and then, you know, repeat that the whole day. So you're either going to wait for the next bus and get on it, or wait for that bus to loop round and you get back on it. You know, there's not this chasing, but if you need to communicate rather than carrying it on your chest, because the Six of Pentacles here is supposed to be about balance. So, you know, I feel like if you're keeping it all to yourself, you're still off balance here. And that wisdom and that spiritual growth and that higher learning there with the Hierophant is definitely got to be about ownership, I feel. I said to you guys, end of 2019, I'm going to preach this accountability to you till I'm blue in the face, right? So, you know, they could even be with a karmic partner or married or something here, with the scales in the back there. And usually in the Six of Pentacles, there's three people and somebody dividing their coins between others. There can be things like that going on as well in their head. Maybe they have too many bills and they're trying to get their money right, focus on their work and build that up solid. And you're thinking, well, why aren't they, you know, paying attention to me? And it can just be as simple as they have other responsibilities. The thing is, when we go down this path, we start telling ourselves, look for something bigger. So there's a danger when we're on this spiritual path that we start reading into things that are not there. And I forgot who says it, but I'm sure one of you guys will remind me. And it's usually the simplest solution is usually the correct solution, right? So maybe they're busy or have responsibilities, have bills to pay. That's the Six of Pentacles as well, having to repay bills and debts. And you're reading into it like, they certainly don't love me because they're not paying attention to me. They're not thinking about me. All the while at work and in their life or doing whatever they're doing, they can't get you out of their mind. But you've read into it too much. And that's, I always tell people as well, like, look, this, when we go through the death of the ego, it will creep back up. It will creep back up, this ego, because we go through this self-respect and then, you know, then we start tipping the scales over the other side again and it turns into ego. So just be mindful of those things I'm saying, I guess. Nine of Swords now. Okay, so I feel like you or your soulmate here is sort of like starting to panic and lose faith in yourself or the connection, or, you know, starting to question yourself too much here. That, am I lovable? Is this all in my head? I feel like a million things running around my head here in this Nine of Swords. And, you know, maybe some of you don't even like what you see in the mirror. And I feel like you are fooling yourself. Just imagine you're crying and you're getting angry at yourself here, I feel, in the mirror. I just feel like she's broke that mirror. And I feel... just imagine a child was crying or another person was crying. You would go up to them and you'd say, hey, what's wrong? You're okay. So why are you being so difficult and hard and punishing on yourself? We need to learn that on the spiritual journey as well, right? And again, we see these nines related to the Hermit, related to self. And this is why I'm telling you guys, be kind to yourself. And if you feel like, look, every single time I keep getting stabbed in my back over and over until I might as well just lay down and be the Ten of Swords, because, you know, I know another negative sword is coming here to stab me in the back, and it'll be the Ten of Swords and I'll be betrayed again. So that's worrying about things that haven't even happened yet, may never happen, but your thought, you're giving it thought, time and attention, you're giving it focus, you're giving it energy to actually manifest in your life. And I keep saying this as well, your thoughts, your focus will become your life. They will grow, they will expand. We create our reality. So I do want you guys to try and stop, because look where we started, the Eight of Swords, like worrying, I'm not getting enough attention, maybe they don't want me anymore, maybe they never wanted me, and then it's down this spiral we go, right? It starts even gathering momentum. Was it all in my mind? I mean, and then we go down this memory lane here with this Six of Cups that I said looks pretty dark, and you know, the thoughts become pretty dark and the memories become pretty dark and even twisted here, I'm feeling. So I feel like you need to regroup and rebalance yourself here. Okay, maybe you are giving too much attention and maybe you are the one putting in all the work and all the messages. Then stop, take a step back into yourself, into loving yourself, into caring about yourself. And if you're crying, don't be hard on yourself. Just how you would anybody else in the world, especially if you're saying, I've learned to love myself, then don't be so hard on yourself when we go through these things or we have these thoughts. Just take a step back and remember and recover. Don't like keep going all the way with that Nine of Swords until, you know, you are actually trying to manifest the Ten of Swords. Well, not even trying, you will. So the High Priestess here, so learning to trust your intuition. I feel like with this Nine of Swords, you may even be feeling like, I don't trust my intuition. Every time I trust it or something, I feel like definitely you're warping it or something here. Your intuition is actually very strong and very on point here. And up until down here, I was seeing beautiful cards. I was seeing a little bit of worry and concern. Now and a little bit of questioning. Now it's building and gathering momentum because you're missing somebody. And, you know, obviously which planet's having a meltdown this time? Obviously, I said this is a timeless reading and we can go through Mercury retrograde, we can go through all sorts of planets every planet retrograde and things like that, and where the sun placement is it a watery season, is it an air season? It's getting me thinking, it's getting me feeling, you know, what's going on here? Is it an earth season? Why is everything slowed down? Why are they not paying attention to me like they once was? And, you know, just stop and check yourself. Believe in yourself. Love yourself here. And trust yourself. Lovingly trust yourself here with the High Priestess. Queen of Swords, yeah. So you have learned a lot, and you should be proud of yourself, and you do respect yourself. Communicating with people is not disrespecting yourself. In actual fact, that's what most of us start off on the spiritual journey wanting, communication with another. So don't feel like to communicate is to lose yourself. Lots of us get into relationships and lose ourselves, right? So this is why I say there's a difference between a healthy relationship, where, you know, you check in and communicate with each other and say hi. You know, you want somebody who does check. Let's say you don't live together. You want people who check up on you every day and say, hey, how you doing? You know, what are you up to? And things like that. Thinking of you. That's all we really want to know, right? Somebody's thinking of you, desiring you, maybe when they're busy, not just when they're bored, right? But communication is so key. It's just so important here. So yeah, you're not going to lose yourself by communicating, because you just want this clarity. You just want to know what's going on with them. But if you shut down because you think like, okay, to respect myself is to be like, okay, I'm not talking to them if they're not talking to me. You actually step down, and you can see in this Queen of Swords, she's bent down. Right? So we could actually fall back as well, and maybe start thinking immaturely. Okay, then, you know, he didn't talk to me, so I didn't talk to her. He didn't give me some of his sweets, so I'm not giving her some of my sweets. Do you see? And I'm not saying it's any of you specifically. I want you guys to, you know, check yourselves. You know, if you're the Queen of Swords here and you know how much you've learned and you've gained this wisdom, and maybe, like I said, even have more wisdom than your soulmate, then, you know, we want to give other people a step up or a helping hand up, not try and knock them down. That's not what the Queen of Swords is about. She's often misunderstood and misrepresented, called a bitch or called Ice Queen, whatever. But she's open to communicating and wants to communicate like an adult. Maybe your soulmate or your person, because they're going through their, you know, trip down memory lane, dark night of the soul, whatever anybody wants to call it, you know, learning about themselves, learning about the world, their journey. Maybe they just don't have space in their mind to feed your ego. That's what it kind of is, isn't it? Like, your ego wants you to know you're desired. And I'm not talking about people who, you know, okay, they've ignored me for 6 months. I'm not talking about those sort of things. Maybe if you're in a relationship, use each part of the explanation for the part you're in. Use your own discretion. If you're in a relationship where you every day communicate, then if they fall off a little bit and they don't give you that communication and you're like, what's going on with them? What I'm saying is, don't jump to conclusions. Don't end up at the Nine of Swords energy. Reach out yourself. It's not lowering yourself. They don't always have to be the one to reach out to you. That's not self-respect. That's feeding your ego, where you'll end up again having a downfall because people do not want the burden of making another person happy. Right? So let's say you're single and they haven't communicated with you and you're worried about Will they ever come back? Six of Cups. Do they ever think of me? Well, they haven't reached out and things like that. Like I said, and, you know, you saying, well, I ain't ever going to reach out. I know my self-respect and things like that. So then it makes more sense for you to sit and wait rather than communicate. It doesn't, right? When somebody says it like that, it doesn't make more sense. That's not respecting yourself, because you're not respecting your own time. Time is the most precious thing, let's say, on this planet, right? Because we can get everything back. Even if we lose all our money, we can make all our money back. But we can't, you know, add more time, if you like. So respect yourself and don't waste your time. Reach out and speak to somebody. Hey, I miss you. I'm thinking of you. Let's say you've been in a long-term relationship, and this Queen of Swords, this could be somebody thinking about leaving a long-term relationship. And if you have been thinking this for a long time with the High Priestess, then I feel like you're definitely heading towards that exit in the relationship with the Queen of Swords, because we sort of, you know, try until we can't try anymore. But your intuition, you've been knocking down, and it causes that Nine of Swords feeling in you, like, I want to leave, you know, it's not working out for me, but okay, I'm staying for the kids, or I'm staying because this is what families expect, or friends expect, or society expects. For whatever reason, putting other people's expectations on you is just leading that Nine of Swords energy until, you know, maybe the other person will then leave you, and it'll feel like a huge knife in the back. And when that happens, I feel like maybe that's a knife in the back from yourself, right? Because if you'd have left and listened to yourself, I guarantee you wouldn't be the one like crying over this situation. Maybe you're angry at yourself. Look, I stayed when I was the one who should have left. I put up with everything you did. You know, I put up with maybe cheating. Maybe when you was down, I was there. I put up with whatever it is. Right? Because we go through lots of different things in relationships. So if you're saying that, maybe that final knife in the back is yourself. Just a thought, guys. Just a thought. Because maybe now the truth hurts, right? And that last Ace of Swords in your back with the Nine of Swords that you're on, boom, that hurt like what? And it was the truth. You should have left. You should have respected yourself anyway. So I feel like you will end up exiting that relationship there. Nine of Pentacles, yeah. So as I was speaking of somebody who may be in a long-term relationship questioning, should I leave, and things like that. Look, I said I feel like you'll probably end up leaving, or they'll end up leaving you or betraying you one more time, and that 10 swords in the back. But here, it's just about remembering who you are and, you know, continuing to grow and continuing to feed into yourself and be kind to yourself. Somebody in a relationship may be in a new relationship. They may be acting single, or, you know, just getting used to not being single. They may have been single a long time, so they're used to being on their own, independent, and not having another person in there. So I would just be aware of those sort of things if you're overthinking with the Eight of Swords, like, what's this person doing? They're not really including me. Maybe they're just learning how to include you in their life. If you've been in a long-time relationship and feel single, yeah, it's definitely time to be single, right? If you are single and you're thinking about somebody either coming into your life, when will I meet somebody, or when will somebody come back into my life? Just remember, when you're seeking love, you have that love within you. Just imagine all the love that you put into other people, and you've supported them, helped them grow, and you would never have betrayed them, and that loyalty, right, that you had. just imagine if you had that put into yourself, how far would you go? You would be unstoppable, right? Because we're looking for that support and that love that we give out, right? So remember that it's in you. Give it to yourself here. And I believe you will shine and draw everybody in, because everybody's drawn into the light. So you will definitely shine, pick yourself up, and draw everybody in here. You know, you want to feel good? Then put that time into yourself. You know, I remember like when my children was little, I often would want to spend money on them, but not on myself. It gave me more joy, right? So maybe it's time to spoil yourself here with the 9 of Pentacles. You know, really be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like you're in love with yourself. I'm going to get myself a gift today. It's a surprise gift for me, to me, from me, right? Everything that you're desiring, you can do, because remember, you've done for another person. So remember who you are here. How much love and loyalty you have to give to another person, right? So much, and you should be proud of your growth there and everything that you've been through. And like I said, they do love you for who you are here with this 9 of Pentacles, and you are strong. We go through different times where we may feel weak and we may start to question, and that's when we need to just step back and get a hold of ourselves. 5 of Wands. So let me tell you something. When you're unstoppable, like this 9 of Pentacles, you can overcome anything, okay, when that love's in yourself. So you might feel like, I'm pretty worried that this argument we had, we're not going to get over it. I feel like, you know, we're arguing about silly little things and it feels like they're pulling away from me and turning away from me, and I've lost that connection. It's worrying to me and things like that. This can be overcome. They're going through something themselves. Their attention is elsewhere. I get it. Not on you. When you feel like, you know, I feel a bit vulnerable. I want your attention. I need your attention. And right now, it's not on you. Maybe you feel unloved. Maybe they don't love you right now. You know, facts are facts. And how do we find this out? Communication. Have they communicated? Right now, I'm just so tied up with work. I'm sorry. I'm absent-minded and things like that. Maybe you could get on with your own work, find some balance in your life and friends and different things to do so that you don't lose out on this connection. You can take a step back here and just say, okay, I don't want to burn this bridge that we're on here, but I'm definitely not liking the way I'm being treated or ignored right now, or I don't like the way we're communicating with each other right now. So I'm going to step back and love myself again for a little bit and treat myself, spoil myself. Right? Because this is something that can be overcome, and this connection can be healed with the 5 of Wands there. That's something that can be sorted out given time, right? Because it's just that they're distracted right now. I don't know what they're distracted with, but they're just distracted right now. And it may feel hurtful to you. Because like I was saying in the very beginning, maybe you had a relationship that was quite abusive, where somebody wanted to know where you was every second of the day. And until you went through this spiritual path or all your life, you felt, this is the kind of relationship. This is somebody letting me know they love me, right? Because they are calling me all the time. They want to know where I am. They don't want me to wear certain types of clothes, and it's because they love me, right? We can get these sort of ways of thinking even from our parents' relationship or relationships we've seen growing up. We can think that's love because, you know, they don't want anybody else looking at me or talking to me, and You know, they don't want me to see my friends because they want me all to themselves. It starts off cute, and believe me, it's not going to end that way. It's going to end very poorly. That's not a healthy relationship, whether it's a man doing it to you or a woman or somebody who is gender neutral. It ain't cute. It ain't cute. Oh, you're not allowed to see your friends. It's not cute. Okay? And it's very abusive. So, yeah. Getting to know each other, religious factors, and worth waiting for here. So, look, it tells you itself. It's your spiritual path. This is your path. You know, and every time we change and we transform, take the time to get to know each other again. Take the time to communicate. Reveal your feelings like to each other here. And, you know, it's not divine timing, so they might feel like they're distant or their attention's not on you or they don't love you right now, and, you know, things like that. You know, because there's other things going on in every individual life. Everybody has a story to tell, right? I feel like I've been shouting at you guys, so I'm going to leave it there. And I do love you. That's why, you know, the Scorpios. Somebody always says to me, yeah, tough love. We do. We really do love you. And we care about you. So we want you to get the message that, you know, this can be healed. Just take a step back. And, you know, not all the time's the right time. And that's why we have this divine timing. But always remember, when it feels like rejection, it's probably protection. It's probably that you have something else to learn right now. Okay, guys? Good luck.